If you took our entire solar system, every planet, every moon, and the sun itself, and shrunk it down to the size of a single grain of sand, the shadow looming behind me would still be the size of a skyscraper. This isn't just a black hole. It is a gravitational tomb for 66 billion suns. An abyss so impossibly vast that light itself, the fastest thing in existence, takes weeks just to crawl across its shadow. If you took every star you can see in the night sky and crushed them into a single point, it wouldn't even fill a fraction of the hunger you are about to witness. We are entering in the graveyard of every civilizations, a place where every star, every world, and every light that ever dared to get too close has been erased from history. This is Ton 618, the place where the laws of physics don't just break, they vanish. Before we descend further into the abyss, I wanted to share a different kind of metric with you. As this is only the third video on this channel, almost 100% of you are currently traveling through these mysteries as guests. Since we are just starting this journey, your subscription is the only gravity that keeps these stories alive. If you find value in this perspective, help me fix this chart. It's a small click for you, but it's the signal I need to know that these deep dives are worth the weeks of work they take to create. Now, let's go back to a quiet observatory in Mexico. The year is 1957, Puebla, Mexico. Two astronomers, Braulio Iriarte and Enrique Chavira, are engaged in the quiet, unglamorous labor of science. They are cataloging, sorting, on a photographic plate taken through a small Schmidt telescope. They notice one object that looks decidedly violet. They log it as a faint blue star. Entry number 618. Then they turn the page. They had no way of knowing they were the first humans to lay eyes on the most massive object in the history of the universe. The light they saw? It had been traveling for 10.8 billion years. When those photons first escaped the abyss, the Earth was not a place. The sun was not even a cloud of dust. That light raced at 670 million miles per hour for nearly 11 billion years, just to reach that photographic plate in Mexico. The universe's greatest secrets do not announce themselves. They hide in the mundane. 13 years passed. In 1970, radio astronomers in Bologna, Italy, heard a signal they didn't expect. The Ton 618 was screaming in radio waves. Soon after, Marie-Hélène Ulrich at the McDonald Observatory in Texas turned her spectrograph toward it. She found a redshift of 2.219. In that moment, the blue star died, and the monster was born. The math revealed a distance so vast that for Ton 618 to even be visible, it had to be burning with the energy of 140 trillion suns. Imagine a single candle in your hand outshining an entire galaxy of 400 billion stars. That is the fury of Ton 618, every single second, for eternity. But here is where the story turns from a big black hole into something truly terrifying. Because Ton 618 isn't just sitting in space, it's doing something much, much worse. At the center of this fire is a darkness that required a new word in the scientific lexicon, and they called it ultramassive. Its mass is estimated at 66 billion times the mass of our sun, and I want you to try to hold that number in your head. though I know you will fail. If our sun were the size of a single marble in your hand, Ton 618 would be a sphere of darkness, larger than the tallest skyscraper on Earth. The entire Milky Way galaxy, every star, planet, and nebula we have ever named, contains roughly 64 billion solar masses of matter. Ton 618 contains that entire mass in a single object. Its event horizon stretches 1,300 astronomical units wide, 40 times the distance from our Sun to Neptune. Our entire solar system doesn't just fit inside it. It would be lost in it, like a single molecule of dust inside a football stadium. Avi Loeb, the director of Harvard's Black Hole Initiative, once described the most terrifying part of this giant. Because Ton 618 is so large, its gravity is surprisingly gentle at the edge. If you were to cross the event horizon, you wouldn't feel it. No sirens, no tearing of your limbs. You would simply pass a threshold of no return, and then you would fall. You would fall for 4 days. 4 days of free fall toward the center. During those days, you could look back and see the entire future of the universe play out like a fast-forwarded movie. You would see the stars go dark. You would see the last galaxies drift away. And then, space-time would finally unravel you. The universe does not warn you when you have reached the end. It simply ends. Here is the mystery that keeps astronomers awake. Ton 618 reached this impossible size when the universe was only 3 billion years old. It shouldn't have been able to eat that much, that fast. It's like finding a fully grown oak tree in the middle of a desert where the seeds were only planted yesterday. Standard physics says it's impossible. Perhaps it formed from the direct collapse of primordial gas. Perhaps it formed from the merger of 1,000 smaller monsters. The honest answer is, we don't know. We are looking at a graveyard of civilizations that was built before the universe even knew how to make stars. Ton 618 is no longer eating. Its feast ended billions of years ago. It is now a dormant engine, a tomb of almost theological proportions. It will outlive our sun. It will outlive the last star in the sky. Even when every proton in the universe has decayed and the era of matter has ended, Ton 618 will still be there, waiting. It will take 1.3 times 10 to the 99th power years for this object to dissolve through Hawking radiation, a number so large it exhausts the human imagination. And then, nothing. The complete silence of a universe that has finally finished its story. In 1957, 2 men looked at a smudge on a plate and moved on. They didn't know they were looking at the end of time. But that is the most human part of this story. We have always been standing in the light of the infinite without realizing it. The void is vast and the darkness is patient. But as long as there is a single mind to wonder about it, that darkness is not absolute. The universe created the abyss, but it also created the consciousness capable of measuring it. You are a collection of atoms that figured out how to weigh 66 billion suns from across the Hall of Time. In a graveyard of stars, your curiosity is the only thing that truly lives. Stay curious, because in the end, we are the only way the universe has to know itself.